To make this cabinet, I'm using some scrap walnut I had laying around from a previous project. I milled the cabinet panels to 3/4 of an inch thick. These two boards will be for the top and bottom. For the side pieces, since I didn't have any boards wide enough and I didn't want to see the end grain on the front of the cabinet, I'm gluing up 3 boards to get the width that I need. I use a 1/4 inch straight router bit to make the grooves for the back panel. I make this cut on the backs of all 4 cabinet panels. For the construction of the box, I use the iBox jig from Keurig to make the box joints. The fingers are 3/8 of an inch wide and 3/4 of an inch tall, which is the thickness of the pieces. In this clip, I'm cutting the 1/4 inch back panel to width at the table saw, and then to length over at the miter saw. While I had access to the inside of the cabinet, I went ahead and sanded with 80, 120, and 180 grit sandpaper. I left the outside faces of the panels rough because I needed to sand them after gluing up the cabinet. And speaking of gluing up, putting glue in all of the finger joints was really tedious. I used 120 grit sandpaper to ease all of the edges. I know a lot of people have a strong opinion when it comes to staining a fine hardwood like walnut, but I wanted a darker look for this cabinet, so I stained it with an antique walnut gel stain from General Finishes. It's really easy to apply. Just flood the surface with the foam brush and then wipe off the excess with the paper towel. Now it's time to build the drawer. I'm cutting down some 1/2 inch maple to the final width. Over at the router table, I cut 1/4 inch grooves for the drawer bottom on all 4 pieces. Now I'm cutting the joinery for the drawer. I cut a 1/4 inch dado on the front and back pieces for the sides to fit into. I had a tear out on the drawer front while routing the grooves. You can see it in this clip here. The top right of the drawer front chipped away while I was routing. To repair it, I cut a 1/4 inch piece of maple and glued it in the gap. For the finish, I applied 2 coats of a semi-gloss varnish, sanding in between coats. You can see the drawer front repair in this clip. Come to find out, I actually had 2 places on the drawer front that chipped away on the corners. I used a flush cut saw to remove the excess of the repair piece. Thanks for taking the time to watch. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button below, and if you aren't already, please subscribe to my channel.